Today, we're unpacking some seriously fascinating source material, a highly detailed cinematic world-building blueprint that completely reimagines a historic Indian city. If you love seeing how ancient culture collides with future tech, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this.
All right, let's jump right in by immediately transporting ourselves to a very specific near-future timeline, the year 2050. Now, this isn't just your generic run-of-the-mill sci-fi. We're analyzing a highly precise vision for Kochi, Kerala, that pushes a very familiar landscape to the absolute technological edge.
And the core concept here? It's an absolutely masterful cultural mashup. The source text literally calls for Blade Runner-inspired visuals mixed with Kerala culture. The creator's taking these gritty, neon-soaked cyberpunk tropes and slamming them right into deeply traditional Indian aesthetics. It creates this amazing environment where the ancient and the futuristic coexist on the exact same street corner.
Section 1. Vision of Cyberpunk Kochi.
So the creator lays down a really specific emotional tone right from the start. Dystopian, yet beautiful. This isn't some clean, perfect utopia, right? We're looking at hyper-advanced, totally overwhelming technology that just crowds the senses, but it's paired with these striking cinematic aesthetics. It's a world that might honestly be a little tough to live in, but man, it is undeniably mesmerizing to look at.
Moving to Section 2, the Neon Monsoon Metropolis.
Now, check out this wild juxtaposition. The text imagines these massive, cowering, neon-lit skyscrapers just completely dominating famous areas like Marine Drive and Fort Kochi. But they don't erase the past. They loom right alongside ancient, traditional Kerala architecture. It's essentially the old world visually engulfed by the neon glow of the new. I mean, you can practically feel the humidity and see the shimmer on the streets here. The creator lists out some incredibly specific sensory details for the environment. Heavy monsoon rain pouring down at night, thick atmospheric fog, actual visible rain particles, and volumetric lighting cutting straight through the dark. Just imagine those bright neon pinks and blues bouncing off wet, flooded roads. It sets this incredibly moody, immersive atmosphere that grounds all the high-tech stuff in a very natural reality.
Section 3. Navigating the Future City.
This part is so cool because it takes familiar local transport and radically upgrades it. Look at this. Flying KSRTC buses zooming through glowing holographic traffic lanes up in the sky. And you know, for anyone who's ever ridden a KSRTC bus on regular roads, giving them flight is a bold, honestly, terrifyingly brilliant choice. Down below, you've got autonomous boats and futuristic ferries navigating the flooded canals while aerial drones patrol above. It's this massive, multi-layered transit system built directly upon the existing waterways and bus routes of Kochi. But even with all this hyper-modern tech, the world building keeps us deeply anchored locally through language. The source explicitly mentions giant digital billboards dominating the cityscape, but, and this is key, they are displaying ads in Malayalam. So, even while we're bathed in these blinding neon pinks, blues, and purples, the sci-fi elements remain firmly rooted in the local culture and language of Kerala.
Which brings us to Section 4. Tradition meets cybernetics.
Getting down to the street level, we see how regular folks are adapting. You've got realistic humans blending ancient regional fashion with straight-up heavy machine enhancements. They're wearing futuristic saris and mundus right alongside visible cybernetic implants. And to fight that heavy monsoon rain we talked about earlier, glowing umbrellas, it's just such an incredible visual of everyday survival in the future.
And here's where we get what might be the ultimate cultural fusion, happening at a massive temple festival. Instead of the traditional majestic animals, the creator envisions massive, completely autonomous AI-controlled elephants. Yet, they aren't just bare, soulless metal. They're still beautifully adorned with ancient gold neti patam head coverings. It is a breathtaking clash of ancient reverence and artificial intelligence.
This cultural synthesis trickles right down to the individual artists, too. Just imagine looking into the eyes of a classic Kerala Kathakali dancer, only to realize their face is augmented with futuristic machinery. A cybernetic performer perfectly symbolizes how these traditional art forms refuse to disappear. They literally integrate with the technology.
All right, Section 5, the cinematic framework.
So, stepping back, the source text explicitly demands an epic sci-fi atmosphere. That is the overarching thematic goal tying this entire visual script together. Every single neon sign, every raindrop, every cybernetic implant is meticulously designed to contribute to a sense of grand, sweeping, breathtaking scale. To pull this off, the creator mandates a highly specific storyboard for us. They're asking for aerial shots of the futuristic skyline, plunging dives into crowded neon street markets, super tight close-ups on that cybernetic Kathakali dancer, and sweeping slow-motion views of rain and holograms. It is a complete start-to-finish cinematic journey.
And to make absolutely sure this world feels tangible and not just, cartoonish, there are incredibly high-fidelity technical constraints attached here. A wide 16:9 aspect ratio, a massive 8K resolution, and a style that is mandated to be distinctly cinematic, photorealistic, and hyperrealistic. It's basically designed to trick your brain into believing this 2050 version of Kochi is a real, breathing place that you could step right into.
All of this really brings us to one core question at the heart of this source material. Will our cultural traditions eventually be replaced by technology, or will they evolve right alongside it? The blueprint we just explored definitely suggests a future where tradition refuses to simply fade away, but instead forcefully adapts to the cybernetic age. Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.